What's up guys, this is Elige, and this is the Refrag Academy, and we are going to be going over the basic version of how to play your positions on the CT side of Anubis. So to get started here, the basic configuration for CT side of Anubis is going to be 2 guys towards B. You're going to have 1 main E-box player, 1 B main player that's focused on B main, and then you will also have 2 guys that are starting towards middle, and 1 guy that is going to be starting towards A. To begin with, we're going to start talking about our B guys. So in general, you have 2 guys that are here because there's 2 choke points, and you have a lot of utility that you can be using to stuff them. Talking about the B main guy, first of all, so the main thing that you want to do as the B main player is just getting information to see what the T's are doing. So a lot of times you're going to be seeing kind of what we talked about in the video for the T side default part of this is they're going to be mollying, they're going to be flashing over, potentially they might be nading, and you do not want to die to these peaks. These are very powerful peaks from the T, and you can either put your opper here, or you can be opping and you can hold either any of these angles here. You can be trying to go for any like cheeky kills here towards this part of the bomb site, so you can try to kill this guy and then smoke out the molly. These are types of things that you can be doing. Or you can just completely call their bluff and just play kind of safe towards the site, and just, you don't really always know exactly when they're going to be peeking because it's kind of hard to hear exactly what's going on, especially if they're throwing molly nade every single round or molly flash every single round. A lot of the times these 2 B players will kind of like play together. You'll definitely see the E-box player, you know, doing his thing playing here, and then the main B guy kind of playing towards this pillar. So if there are any T's that are doing these peeks, you're not giving them the chance to frag you. So your pretty much thought process is going to be, do I want to peek them? How am I gonna like be safely getting a kill and then hiding and surviving? Or how do I just not give them an entry because I don't think they're gonna be popping on me right afterwards? If you're feeling any pressure, then one thing that you could do is just smoking off B main. You can just smoke off this little brick here. If you're playing here and you ended up getting pressured from both sides, then you can just smoke here as well. And then after your smokes are out, then you're pretty much kind of playing together, or you're calling for a third rotate. And now moving on to the E-box player. So this guy, it's definitely kind of a hard position. This is one of the harder positions of the map. You have to be timing out your utility very well here. I would say in general, how you want to be playing is planning to trade your utility with the T's. So if you ever see them doing the smoke that lands in E-box, you're kind of wanting to save your utility as much as possible. So you kind of want to use your Molotov in a way where you're not letting them get into the smoke. So you want to like throw your Molotov off of E-box so the molly lands outside of E-box, and you know that they can't get in your smoke. And then maybe after the molly or smoke is gone, you're re-smoking this just so they can't advance at all on it. And after one of your nade sets is done, you are pretty much in the same position that the B main player is in, where you're both kind of in a really tough spot. So kind of what a lot of people like to do is they like to shut down one of these 2 in the beginning based off of the pressure that's happening, and then going for re-aggressions mid-round, maybe at the 1:20, 1 o'clock mark, where maybe you're re-smoking off B main, so you were able to save like your utility for a bit, you smoked B main because there was pressure there, and then both of you guys at B are kind of going back into E-box and just seeing if anyone's there, or you're calling for a rotate, and the guy that's rotating in, he's going to be flashing for you guys, and you're figuring out exactly what's going on in the map, because Anubis is very difficult where you don't know exactly where they are, and you have to have really good timings to be able to get information. Moving on from the B players, the 2 mid players are pretty much going to be a rifler and your opper. So the opper, he doesn't necessarily play mid, but he's going to be, you know, taking his shots here. He's going to be figuring out, you know, do I have any opportunities on the mid side? And he's going to either be the one supporting or the one getting supported for at mid. You know, whether he's doing like a flash over mid for the rifler, or the rifler is doing this flash over for him. These 2 guys are kind of working together, kind of seeing what they want to do together. But the main rifler is always going to need another nade set. So usually it's the opper that's kind of dropping these nades. Usually we just drop like a smoke and molly in this position towards stairs, just because this spot at mid is more about trading utility and shutting down rushes and making sure that you're strong if anything did happen. So a lot of the times it's good to start off either with a molly or a smoke. It's good to mix up both. Mollying definitely gives you the most information where you know for sure that they're not through it, because with a smoke you're never completely sure if they're through or not, because they could walk through and you're going to be seeing teams smoke house on you. So the only way you can get information is on this part of the map, and this is a part that can get flashed very easily, and you can kind of get run down. So you're gonna be wanting to molly at least most of the time, and then usually throwing like a smoke that's a little bit closer just so they can't boost on you. You're gonna see if you actually tried to boost as a T, you wouldn't actually see anything. And after your first nade set is done, you're usually only going to have one more, and you have to be really smart about how you use that. And now for the Opper, it's pretty much the same thing. You can play kind of as the same player here. I'd say as the Opper, you can always like start mid and go for this pick, just see if anyone's peeking you. You can always do it from this side. If you got flashed off, you can always just flash them back and then repost up on the angle and kind of do like that op duel. But your main role as the op player, besides supporting mid and giving nades or whatever, is to be very flexible. Whether you're going into A and you're holding any of these angles at the plats, whether you're behind the pillar on the left side doing some setup with your A player, or you're staying towards mid, you're opping this spot here so they get punished if they peek this without a flash, or you're the third B guy because, you know, the B player is kind of how we were talking before, they don't have a ton of options. So you're either going to come third B and you're going to post up on these really strong angles for you at B, whether you're playing here at the palace, here at emo pillar. You could even start the round on the right side here. You have so many different options as an opper on this map, and you kind of just have to, you know, feel out how the T's are playing it and adjust accordingly. Moving over to the A player. So a lot of the times as the A player, you're gonna want to make sure that you're playing in tandem with the mid guy if you guys are 1-1 and then you have 3 towards B. So you kind of want to be playing together, because if you're 1A, 1 mid, and 3B, you obviously can't hold A and mid just as one guy super spread apart, so you want to stay kind of close to him. So most of the time you're going to be wanting to throw this Molotov where you just come into the corner here, you find the stain, and you do a middle click jump throw. And what this Molotov kind of gives you is it gives you an indication if the T's are going to put out the Molotov and rush into A, because it's very hard to know exactly when they're going to be rushing, and if they have to put out this molly here, you get a very advanced warning. So you obviously don't always have to, nor should you always Molotov that. This is just one of your options, so you can do that. One of your second options is to just be listening for any rushes, and then you can come towards the slant wall. As soon as they start executing, you either molly this, or as soon as you hear anything, you can just smoke it off and then just like play close to the smoke. This is definitely one of your options to be able to stuff them. You could also play on plat here, and if your mid player knows that they're coming towards A, he can always like flash in front of the pillar for you, and you can get a lot of easy kills here towards A. But in general, I would refrain from playing in the open in general. Playing towards heaven is not very strong as well, just because this is a left eye angle. You're further from the angle from he is, so you're probably not going to win this fight most of the time. Playing in the site is alright too. This is definitely like an option you should have. You're just going to need to use a smoke, because there are teams that will just maul you out, so you need to have some type of option to delay. These types of spots you don't really want to be playing, because this is where your mid player is going to be rotating into. So in general, you can play any of these different ways. You can play in a main at this corner here. This is super strong, even better with a second player. But in general, that's pretty much how you want to play towards A. Hope you guys enjoyed the basic version of how to play your spots on CT side Anubis. Definitely a lot of options that you have here, and make sure that you check out the advanced version, learn more options about your micros and all the different things that you can do on the CT side. Thanks for watching.